Hey, greetings YouTube. It's vacuum of the month time. Let's see how Henry did, and I also have a mystery vacuum over here, so stay tuned and we'll get to that. And if you haven't, definitely go check us out on Instagram and Facebook and all the other places that I post more regularly. And if you like our content and want to support us, definitely go check out our Patreon page, links below. So, as you all know, I've been using Henry for about a month. Well, exactly a month actually, and I really like Henry. And this is the 160, the cordless Henry. For those of you who haven't watched, or this is your first time watching my channel, I have the full unboxing, more review based, but I want to talk about Henry and some of the things I liked and some of the things I didn't. I was just reading Reddit, in fact, somebody said, who's excited about Henrys? They've been on the market forever. Well, they haven't been on the US market forever, and the 160 is a new size, and it's a pretty powerful little, durable little machine that's not made in China. It's made in the UK. So first thing I want to mention is I gave Henry, I guess, a white cheek. It's not a black cheek, it's a white cheek right there. So that's something to note about Henry, as I did scrape him up in his use. But I found that I only had to plug him in two places in my house. I could plug him in the middle of the house, and then when I got to the bedroom, about halfway through my bedroom, I had to stop and replug him. And of course, if I had to go to the basement, but I don't usually vacuum in the basement too often. So just something to know. Henry also went with me on a couple of central vacuum service calls as well, and he even unclogged a central vacuum through the wall. I lent him to a friend for that job. So Henry really got used a little bit more than most vacuums do for vacuum of the month. And I found that Henry paired with the turbo tool was great. And I'm going to talk more about that in another clip. As you can see, I need to clean the turbo brush. But the turbo brush is still going great, still cleaning well. In fact, I really like the carpet lines that turbo brush leaves. So let's see what's inside. I have to say, the one thing I like about the newer generations of Henrys is how thick this pre-motor filter is. It's really, really thick. I mean, it's like so thick. I mean, it's just, and I haven't gotten any odors or anything. And the thing I did with Henry that I don't usually do is I vacuumed up coffee grinds and food for my kitchen. Usually I don't do that with the vacuum of the month because it's sometimes kind of a rarity or whatnot. But I did with Henry, and I thought it was great for that. So let's change that bag. Let's see how that is. I'll show you that process. And that bag just seals up, and you can see Henry bag is quite full. Move him back into the light here. I usually do this during the day and kind of ran out of time, so I'm doing this the night before. So there's still a little bit of room in the bag, but it's quite full. It's quite hefty. And it's about 2 FJM Mila bags in terms of its size. It's about as full as I'd say a Kirby bag when it's all the way full, or a Hoover type A bag, or an Oric bag if you're familiar with that. If that helps you. Let's see. Now when I took that bag off, we had a piece of cat litter. So let's take that off, and let's change the bags. Now usually the bags come in a different package. I ordered the wrong package of bags when I ordered the second pack because the description was on this PDF price sheet thing that was not very good, and I wasn't paying particularly great attention, so I actually ordered the wrong bags originally. So I've got some smaller ones and I've got some bigger ones, and we're going to put the bigger one. Somebody was confused about the size of the bag difference with the pneumatics. It's pretty clearly labeled on their website. But you want to go to the home site. You don't want to go to their other site. They have like an industrial site, and there's not much on the industrial site. It's actually the home site that has more details that you want on there. It's just really easy to change. So that's one of the reasons I like that. It's just how easy. And the other thing I really liked was having the tools back here. You know, with the central vac, at least mine, I don't actually keep the tools on the wand because it came with like a Eureka style clip, and I don't like that. Those who have a Patriot got the same thing, or a Eureka Mighty Mighty. It just doesn't work. But these tools, really handy. I did find that this tool, whatever tool was on the stub tube adapter, stayed in place, but the crevice tool tended to wobble around occasionally. But he only fell off once or twice, and it was when I was like carrying him up and down the stairs. And when you carry him, he kind of does that. So that's kind of what I didn't like about Henry. I did like how quiet he was. He's super quiet, and then I love this manual cord rewind. I found myself just enjoying doing that. I don't know why that's so pleasing, but it's one of those things that's just oddly satisfying. So that is cordless Henry. Now I want to show you a clip of a big mess. Well, we're in the bedroom with Henry. Well, actually a guest bedroom. But this room in my house, which is located on the ground level, kind of set in, it's kind of like half basement. My house is built into a hill. Anyways, this level has this wool carpet. And wool carpet, you're not actually supposed to have a beater bar, and there's some confusion whether you should even have a brush roller. Anyways, this stuff is extremely low pile. And I wanted to demonstrate how the Henry picks up with a big mess test down here, and I have a turbo brush. We're going to set it all the way closed on the gate, and let's zoom in and see how Henry does on the big mess test here. Slow down the turbo tool on this carpet like it does on my soft carpet in the rest of my house, which really makes this kind of a cool place to demo with. Maybe I should do more demos down here. But there's nothing else, just some breakfast cereal. Oh, I missed a whole bunch of breakfast cereal. Just, I didn't go over it at all. But in the areas I did go over, clean just fine. So I would say that Henry, with the turbo brush, would be just fine. Now the other thing I've seen with Henry, and people are like, okay, I want to get the Henry Extra. Well, you have to go to your Henry dealer really to get a Henry Extra in this country, in the USA right now. If you try to find a Henry Extra on eBay or something like that, you're actually probably going to find a 220 model, so I don't recommend that you do that. Go to your local Henry dealer. And just call your local vacuum shop and ask if they have Henry. And that's kind of how you want to find out. They're working on a dealer locator on their website, but it's not quite up yet. It's July 2019. I'm sure that will change by the end of the year. So before I talk about this vacuum over here, and some of you might know what this one is, but I have a feeling that some of you it's going to be a surprise. So I wanted to read some fan mail, so we're going to do that. And the first thing I just wanted to talk about, which was a post I posted on Vacuum Land, but somebody posted a picture I've actually talked about with for a while, saying that they really like their James and their Henry, and I just was really kind of touched that they took the time to post a picture of their vacuums. So people are familiar with the 200 series machine, but he's the 160. He's a little bit smaller. And I kind of think that his size is just overall more practical for most houses. So I wanted to talk about that. That was just really cool. The second is there is more internal VDTA drama. I guess some people who see my videos, my repair videos, which there are more coming of, you haven't been ignored. If you want to see more repair videos, though, than what I post, definitely check on Patreon. But I wanted to talk about the reason I post repair videos is not so much how-tos, there's so much of what should be done or what needs to be done. and sometimes I show little things, but I don't really give away too many secrets, I feel. And for some reason, some people feel in the vacuum industry that I'm giving away too many secrets. Well, most people really aren't going to repair their vacuum at home, just collectors and a small base of people. So now that that's addressed, next I want to read a couple good comments from YouTube, because I love reading your comments. And go ahead, the comments section, just go ahead and light it up. So the first comment, actually I'm going to read this because this was the newest one. If only people spent the time to look for a quality vacuum, and this was on my Shark versus Dyson Ball video, which is don't buy either. And he goes on to state that a Freedom sells new for $3.99. That's a very good point. Though if you pay $3.99 for a Freedom, I think you probably should negotiate it a little bit more with your dealer. That's just for the base model. Now, I'm not talking about the premium model. You got that for the premium model. That makes sense. But again, all these companies have different models. So we're going to go to comments. And there were a couple held for review that I wanted to read. One was from Mr. Vacuum Nut, and that was about his E3. And he goes on, it's kind of long, so we're not going to read it all, but I want to answer this question. When I recommended the Cibo E3, which has the ET1 power head, which most people know and love, but on the Cibo power heads, the ingest bars, which are the parts that go across, which of course this doesn't have. I don't have something handy with ingest bars right now, but those keep you from sucking up the cord. Well, you can just pull them loose on a Cibo, and what could happen is if you run over something, you can pull that ingest bar loose. So that's part of the design, though, so you don't break. You have nothing wrong with the vacuum, or don't be so rough with your vacuum, especially if you spend $900 on a vacuum. Just my 2 cents on that. Next, I've seen a lot posted on Reddit about the Miele U1 S7 platform, that people seem to think that they're hard to repair. They're not hard to repair. They're specific to repair. You're supposed to repair them via the way Miele designed, and there's a service video that Miele did. You can go look up, or if you're a Miele dealer, you have access to those service videos, and they're far better than what I could do, because they have a nice German person with a German accent doing the video, and they explain everything very thoroughly and very properly on how to break apart an S7 U1. I don't have any problem doing that. If I had to do 10 of them, in an 8-hour shift, I would have some time left over to watch YouTube videos, and maybe I'd watch my own videos. No, just kidding. But no, they're very easy. And if somebody says they're a vac tech and they have problems with the Miele S7 U1 platform, the wheels can be difficult. But if they're talking about anything else, they just run. They don't know what they're talking about. They should not be working on machines, or they need some more time to learn. Here comes the cat. The other thing that I keep seeing is people are complaining about the price of Miele parts, and the price of Miele parts, why they're not the cheapest in the industry. They're not the most expensive. They're kind of they're 3/4 of the way there in terms of the most expensive, but they're not the most expensive. And considering they make everything in-house, they don't use off-the-shelf components for the most part. They have maybe a switch or two, but everything's made in-house. Where, Henry, they're really smart. They use off-the-shelf switches. They have the motor in this is made by Lam Amtech, so they're using these vendors to put these things together, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it makes for a better deal, but Miele doesn't do that, so that's kind of the thing. And Miele has a dealer network which they distribute the parts on. So I can't say they're the cheapest. I can't say I'm gonna really be upset with the price of the parts in Miele. You know what you bought. You didn't buy a $100 Hoover. So that being said, just stop complaining about the price of Miele parts and stop acting like they're more complicated than other machines to fix. The hardest Miele to fix is simpler than a Dyson to fix, as far as I'm concerned, and definitely less work. So that's my 2 cents in terms of fan mail that I wanted to read. Oh, there was one more piece of fan mail, actually, that caught my attention. There's this commenter, and he's been commenting for months, and I appreciate you commenting for months. But I will answer you. Your name is David Perry. I will answer your question. And I see that you will post the same question again. Well, I already answered your question. So please, if you need to start a conversation, I can be reached through Facebook, Instagram, that sort of thing. But if you're going to get just over and over again ask the same question, I've answered it. Just, I'm not going to repeat that cycle. So you're almost like an NPC, dude. And I don't know what to say. I'm not trying to make fun of you or anything. And one of the things that was posted by this person is, if a Kirby's too heavy, buy a Sanitaire direct air machine. I couldn't think of worse advice. The reason I'm going to state that is Sanitaire is currently owned by Bissell. Their quality has been gone for over 10 years. Sanitaire has not made a quality motor, and they've been making stuff in the bad part of China. They must have the Uyghurs putting them together in China or something. I don't know what's up with that. I'm going to get demonetized for that, probably. So yeah, speaking of monetization, if you're a YouTuber, join the YouTube union. I'm not much for unions, but it's more of a political thing than a union usually is. So anyways, you've heard me talk about enough. If you've watched the video this long, I appreciate it. If you've gone to sleep like the cat, that's cool too. So let's see what's here. Is this vacuum from Stuttgart, Germany? No, it is not. Actually, it was built in the US. So the vacuum of the month is a Simplicity Freedom. And I'm sure I'm going to get a call from my favorite person at Tacony or something about this, but it's the vacuum of the month. I'm featuring this machine. And the reason I have the Stuttgart bag out is I want to change the bag on camera. And this is not the most current Simplicity Freedom, but it's a special Simplicity Freedom. So the reason the base is like this is this machine was, when they're changing the injection molds from blue to red or red to blue or orange, whatever color that reddish color looks like to you, they have to throw away a couple of these nozzles to get it fully cleaned out. Well, a friend of mine was touring the factory back in the day, and he said, no, that's the one I want. I want that. And they kind of looked at him funny because this is really funny looking. But it is unique, and it is the only one like this. So he chose this, and this is actually, get this is a lifetime belt model on here. And if we look at this, I'll show you what we're starting. And it's a 2005, looks like 05. So yeah, 2005. Might be a 15. No, it'd have to be a 2005. It's kind of arguing with myself, second guessing. It's got the metal brush roller, and it actually works and pushes on my carpet. So I'm excited about this, as I have never really used one in the store right now, thankfully. Keep hearing all these things in the industry. It's kind of depressing to hear some of these boomers talk about their stores. But anyways, so this bag, why it doesn't actually need to be changed, we're going to change it. We're going to put a new bag in, as always. And I wrote 819, so we know it is that bag. And they went away from this bag change system, and I'll show you why. And the reason is you have to rock the bag in like that. A lot of people would just put it in like this, and then dirt would go around the bag. So thankfully they changed it. They made a big improvement in their new docking system, which seems like a copy of so many other manufacturers. I won't go into specifics about that. But that's what's on there. Now, this blows, not a 0, but it filters pretty darn good. It'll be good enough for a vacuum of the month. Let's go ahead and turn her on so you can see what she sounds like. I think you'll like these carpet lines. So we're going to use high. I don't like to use low. I like to use high. So that's going to be a vacuum of the month. I'm going to vacuum just carpet sections in my house, which is less than half my house. But yeah, that's going to be a vacuum of the month. So thanks again for watching, everybody. I've got some great new videos coming up. And, you know, if you want to send a vacuum for a review, or if you want to send a vacuum for repair, we do that too. Definitely check out my Patreon and the links below. Have a wonderful day.